Good afternoon, everybody. Christine Barconi here in our NBC4i streaming center. Happy Tuesday to you all. I know there's a big day going on in Ohio, but we are 1 week out from early in-person voting from starting. So I thought it was appropriate to bring on Secretary of State Frank LaRose to talk about the preparations they are doing. 1 week left to go till people start going to their county boards of elections. And so that also means less than 1 week to go to register to vote. And you guys had a big announcement today, Secretary. 2 million people have requested those absentee ballots. How's election prep going for you guys?
You know, it's going very well. Ohio fundamentally has a strong system of elections. We've got 4 weeks of early voting. We've got 4 weeks of absentee voting. And of course, in-person election day voting will be an option as well, with the polls opening at 6:30 in the morning. But yeah, we're really excited to see over 2 million Ohioans have already requested their absentee ballot. Now's the time to get that request in. If you want to vote from the convenience of voting from home, we sent every Ohioan an absentee ballot request form, but if you lost it or the dog ate it, you can go to voteohio.gov and print your own. There are also instructions there for how to even make your own form if you don't have a printer, or how to request another one to be sent to you. What that means is that starting October 6th, the boards of elections can start mailing out those 2 million absentee ballots, and we hope that Ohioans get them back in right away. As you can see by the countdown clock behind me, it says 6 days, 18 hours, 16 hours, 28 minutes, and 22 seconds until early voting begins. We're so excited because a lot of Ohioans are going to be ready to go at 8 a.m. on the morning of October 6th to start voting in person at their county boards of elections. And we're so excited to accommodate that. And by the way, create a safe and healthy environment for both poll workers and for voters. We've had some really cool announcements recently where we received almost 3,000 gallons of hand sanitizer from Anheuser-Busch as a byproduct of the beer brewing process. They can create alcohol for hand sanitizer, and they're helping with that. We've received over close to 500,000 donated masks from a great manufacturer up in Lake County. So we're seeing a lot of excitement. The county boards of elections are going to follow this 48-point checklist that we've given them to make sure that it's safe and secure. And so whether you choose to vote by mail or to go vote in person starting October 6th, it's going to be a healthy and a secure opportunity for every Ohioan.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be one of those in Franklin County, one of those crazies lining up, because one of the perks that we talked about last time is once you do vote, you get off of the phone call list and the text message list and mailers and emails and different things like that from the different campaigns.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, smart campaigns know that they don't want to spend their money on contacting people that have already voted. And so they pull those lists from the boards of elections every day, and they'll remove from the contact list those that have already voted. And so that's one of the great reasons to vote early or absentee. One of the other benefits of voting absentee, is I always tell people, is you're allowed to cheat on the test. Of course, when you go to vote in person, you kind of have to have your mind made up who you're voting for. But if you vote absentee, you can flip open your laptop or get on your phone right there and just maybe take a half an hour to fill out your ballot and be really fully informed when you do so. So whichever way you choose, there are a lot of good options here in Ohio.
Absolutely. And 2 million, that's crazy. That's more than double from 2016 and 2012 as well. That's something you guys are really proud of, or how's that make you feel to know that more than double? That's a lot.
No, we're glad to see that. And we've been working to encourage it. I'm going to share this. We sent these to every registered voter in Ohio. That's the absentee ballot request form. And again, it's important to emphasize this is just the request form. Once you get this, you fill it out, you use that self-addressed envelope to mail it back, and then starting October 6th, the Board of Elections will send you that ballot. It's a great thing to see. And one of the reasons why we're so eager to push absentee voting and early voting, and why we want Ohioans to take advantage of that, is because we don't want to see any kind of lines or crowding on election day. And so for those Ohioans that we can serve right now through the early voting or absentee voting process, that's fewer that we're going to have to serve on election day. And that's just a good thing for creating that that safe environment and a convenient opportunity for everybody to vote that does come and vote in person.
Absolutely. And we do want to talk about like 6 days, less than a week now to get registered to vote. That is an important first step. Tell everybody the ways that you can do that. There are so many ways that you can. I mean, nearly half a dozen.
Yeah,
More than that.
we work to really make it easy. We want to
Yeah.
see as many registered voters as we can. We actually released that number recently. Now, we had a big push last week with National Voter Registration Day all throughout the country. We were up in Cleveland working with the Cleveland Cavaliers and Browns and Indians to do this voter registration drive that we did up there. We're partnering with craft brewers all over the state. You may see some beer bottles back there. That's not because I'm drinking on the job. That's because we're really proud of this initiative that we launched with Ohio Craft Brewers, where over 50 brewers all over the state have right there on their cans and bottles. They're serving these fine quality Ohio brewed beers in cans and bottles that say every vote counts, and on the back of the bottle has a reminder about how to get registered to vote. We've been partnering with barbershops and beauty salons. We call it Styling for Democracy. And we were out at a barbershop here in Columbus called A Cut Above the Rest out on the Near East Side, where Al, who's the barbershop owner out there, has registered over 2,000 voters just through his barbershop. So all of those are exciting things. But as I said, we just released the number. And as we sit right now, we are close to 8 million, and we're at 7,994,000 registered voters. We want to go over 8 million. And so if you're not registered to vote, then go to voteohio.gov. And you talked about the easy ways to get it done. Going to voteohio.gov is the simplest way to do it. As long as you have a state ID or driver's license, you can get registered to vote right there. And we encourage you to do that. Now, if you don't have that state ID or driver's license, or if you just like to do it the old-fashioned way, you've got a few other options. You can print off the form right there, the voter registration form. You can print it off right from our website and then mail it to your county board of elections. Of course, you can go visit your county board of elections. And if you want to know where that is, go to voteohio.gov/boards, and you'll see a list of all the county boards of elections, and you can go visit them. Also, a lot of libraries, if you find one that's open. I know many are closed with the pandemic, but you can also go to BMV locations. A lot of job and family service type offices around the state make those available. I know that on college campuses, they have voter registration forms at a lot of the university offices. And so really there's a lot of ways to do it. But again, the easiest way is to go to voteohio.gov. That's where Ohioans can go to check your registration or get registered. And that's something a lot of times people don't think about, is if maybe you've been registered for years, but maybe you moved. Maybe you just need to check it to make sure that it's all accurate. Of course, the boards of elections work really hard to get that information entered in accurately. But let's say somebody made a typo. You may just want to check and make sure your voter registration is up to date. Lauren and I did that not too long ago. We checked our registration. Happy to see that it's all up to date and our address is correct and our names are spelled correctly. You can do all of that at voteohio.gov. And here's one other thing. Now, you may have been registered to vote for years, but maybe think about a young person in your life. When all of us turned 18 or 19, maybe somebody reminded us, hey, you got to get registered to vote. Maybe this is your reminder to call or text or send a social media message to a young person in your life, maybe one of your own children or grandchildren, and remind them that the deadline is October 5th. The Ohio Constitution says you've got to be registered to vote 30 days before the election. So help us get over 8 million and go to voteohio.gov and get registered today.
That's funny that you mentioned that. I'll have to tell you the story of how I was not bribed, but my mom very strongly encouraged me to get registered to vote back when I was 18, because it wasn't a big election year. I was like, I don't have anything to vote for, but essentially she was like, all right, so go get registered to vote, go get your flu shot, and then maybe you can get like a new cell phone or something like that.
Christine, thank God for moms, right?
Thank God.
And thank goodness we've got people that are going to help encourage young people to get registered to vote. I did the same thing just 5 years ago when my little brother turned 18.
Yeah.
I actually put the form right there in his birthday card. Now, thankfully, you don't need
That's funny.
Or you can go to voteohio.gov and do it online now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's super easy to check. I do it kind of frequently too, just to make sure everything is up to date with me as well. Super easy there. So you said we were just single digits away from 8 million registered voters in Ohio? Is that what I heard?
The current number is 7,994,000. So we just need right around 6,000 more to get us over that 8 million mark. And again, we all love to have kind of a goal to shoot for. We want to see as many registered voters as we can. The good news is Ohio we tend to punch above our weight when it comes to voter registration compared to other states. So of that eligible population, those citizens that are over 18, Ohio tends to have a high voter registration rate, but we want to see that number climb, and we don't want anybody to miss out on the chance to have their voice heard this November. And so now's that reminder, don't delay, go to voteohio.gov and get registered.
Yeah, just 6 days left. Maybe if we have some moms out there, or maybe some high school teachers, give your 18-year-olds a little bit of time in class to log on to do that, or remind them over Zoom if that's how you're doing school right now. So definitely, that'd be cool if we could get over that 8 million mark very soon, maybe by the end of the day or week or so. Secretary of State, Ohio, huge state, and we're going to be having a lot more. It seems like absentee. Ballots being counted, because we're one of those states where we can, start counting them, when they get them. Come election night, the first amount of numbers that we're going to see, it seems like it's going to be a lot more than normal. Is there anything we could read into about that? Maybe are there equal amounts Republicans and Democrats who are asking for these absentee ballots?
Normally we do see very similar amounts of both Republicans and Democrats, although the Columbus Dispatch just reported on this week that it seems like there's currently higher numbers of Democrats. So maybe my fellow Republicans need to work on getting more people to request their absentee ballot. But obviously we don't take into account the partisanship here in this office. We just want to see Ohio
Right.
request their absentee ballot. But yeah, normally it is really straight down the middle. And I know that both parties are pushing it. In fact, I see the same emails and social media posts that both parties push out. I know that both the Trump campaign and the Biden campaign are encouraging people to vote absentee. I know that both campaigns tend to send out absentee ballot request forms. And actually, let me touch on that for a second, because, we sent these out, 7.8 million of them, that's 17 tractor trailer loads full of mail, to encourage Ohioans to request their absentee ballot, but others can send them out as well. Of course, this form, the absentee ballot request form, can simply be printed off from our website.
Yeah, it's just a form.
Yeah, it's just a form, not the ballot. It's just the request
Yeah.
form. And so parties tend to send it out. The Republican Party sends out request forms. The Democratic Party sends out request forms. You don't need to send us multiple forms. We're hearing from the boards of elections that they're getting some people that are sending 2, 3, 4 of these forms in. Absolutely not necessary.
Right.
Once you've sent it in once, you're good to go. Your ballot will arrive in early October, starting October 6th, when the boards of elections send these out. And if you want to be sure, again, just go to voteohio.gov and you can track your request and make sure it's been received. And then here in Franklin County, and not every county does this, but many counties are starting to. Every county, of course, offers ballot tracking, but in Franklin County, they'll actually send you alerts via text message, phone calls, or email. So Lauren and I did this. We got this in the mail just like 7.8 million Ohioans did. We sent ours in to the Franklin County Board of Elections. We signed up for alerts, and then I got a text message from the Franklin County Board of Elections saying, "Hey, Frank, we got your request. We're going to send you a ballot starting October 6th. And then they're going to send me another text message when they actually send my ballot, so I know I can watch the mailbox for it. And then once I fill out my ballot and mail it back in, I'll get another text message so that the Franklin County Board of Elections can put my mind at ease that they have my ballot. It's under double lock and key. It's safely being stored at the Franklin County Board of Elections until it can be counted right at 7:30 on election night." And you started to mention this too. A lot of people don't realize this, but the very first ballots counted in almost every case are those early votes and those absentee votes. You're going to see results start to come in at 7:45, 8 o'clock. Those aren't the votes coming in from the actual voting locations on election day. In most cases, those aren't even down to the Board of Election yet to start getting tabulated. Those first votes that you see counted are the early votes and the absentee votes. So just another reason to get those requests in so that you can be among the first ballots counted here in Ohio.
Absolutely. So I actually talked to the Franklin County Board of Elections spokesperson Aaron Sellers the other day, and he was telling us all about that as well. And he was talking about the poll workers and how Franklin County basically nearly has enough poll workers. How are the rest of the 87 counties doing? Are you guys still recruiting poll workers? What's it looking like on that front?
Yeah, absolutely, Christine. And as you've heard me say all along, it takes 37,000 Ohioans just to open the doors of the polling locations on election day. Now, think about this, what a big operation it is. There are close to 4,000 voting locations throughout Ohio. Every one of them needs to be staffed by a bipartisan team of election day poll workers who do this really important job of running the elections. These are the folks that check you in, check your ID when you get there. They give you your ballot. They help you if you have any questions with the machine. For ADA Ohioans, they help them learn about the accommodations available to make sure that voting is accessible. These are the folks that give you your I voted sticker. These are the ones that make sure that our 48-point checklist is followed so that we create that safe and healthy environment. And again, if you feel comfortable going to the grocery store, you should also feel comfortable coming to the polling location, because a lot of the same health protocols are going to be followed. And so it takes 37,000 Ohioans just to open the polls. But of course, that's the bare minimum. We're never going to do anything with the bare minimum. We want to have that backup plan. We want to have some redundancy built in. And so we're telling those boards of elections to recruit 150% of their normal number. So if your county normally needs 1,000 poll workers, we're telling them to recruit and train 1,500 this year. Now, why is that? Well, let's hope this doesn't happen. But if there is a resurgence in the virus, or if there's some reason why people don't want to come to work and work the polls on election day, we need to have that reserve force ready to call in, because what we can't have is people showing up to polling locations and not having adequate staffing there. And so I believe in accountability and transparency. And so we actually launched a tracker on our website. This is something that we were the first in the nation to do. Now other states are following suit. So if you go to our website, voteohio.gov, you can click on your county and see how far along your county is, if they have recruited enough poll workers yet, or if they're still working. Most counties are still working to recruit poll workers. In fact, we just announced recently that we were at 44,000. Our goal to get to is 55,000. So we still have more to go. And the place to sign up is, again, at voteohio.gov. You put in your information. You should get a call from your Board of Elections in just a few days. I know some of them are a little backlogged right now, but once your Board of Elections calls you, they'll schedule you for training, and they'll talk to you about whether they're going to assign you to a polling location, or they're going to have you standing by on Tuesday, November 3rd, to be one of those reserve force in case you're needed. And so please consider signing up to be a poll worker. And here's something else. In Ohio, 17-year-olds can sign up to be poll workers as long as you're a high school senior. It's a great opportunity to serve your community. It's also a really cool thing to have on a college application, because a lot of schools aren't considering ACT and SAT scores right now. And so signing up to be a poll worker may be a way to distinguish yourself as a college applicant. And it's also a great education. And by the way, you get paid for it as well. It says something about you. And you know what? I've been doing the recruiting not only in venues like this and through our social media and all of that, but also personally. I got my own mom signed up to be a poll worker up in Summit County, so she's going to be getting trained soon. Also, both of my little brothers, I've got a little brother who's a college student at the University of Akron and one who just graduated from college. Both of them are going to be poll workers. And so we're doing all we can to get as many people signed up. And some of the other benefits, some professions are actually offering continuing education credits. And so recently, the Ohio Supreme Court announced that for lawyers, they would get CLE credits. And any lawyer, is always working to try to get those credits to keep their law license active. And so those CLE credits are very valuable. You get CLE credits for signing up to be a poll worker. For accountants, the accountancy board just announced that they're going to offer continuing education credits for those that sign up. The realtors, if you're a professional realtor, you can get continuing education credits. And something else cool that we're really encouraging businesses and nonprofits and government groups to do is give their employees a day for democracy. That's what we call it, when you give your employees a day off. And so if you're an employer, if you have a workforce, consider giving them that day off to be poll workers. And we just saw a great announcement from Ohio State University, my alma mater, your alma mater. Our new president at Ohio State University just announced today that the Ohio State University is going to give their employees a day off to be poll workers. And so it's a great thing to see. A lot of people are getting involved, but it takes every one of us to get through the kind of situation that we're in right now. And one great call to duty, one great way to serve your community is signing up to be a poll worker. That journey begins at voteohio.gov. Well, I tell you what, the peaceful transition of power is a hallmark of a functioning democracy. It's a great part of the American tradition. Both candidates should work hard and then respect the results of the election. I can speak for Ohio. And what I know is that Ohioans know that we run honest elections. They're run by bipartisan professionals. And when the final tabulation is done, and that may, again, on election night, you're going to see the unofficial results, and that may or may not be conclusive. You may not have enough information yet, but when that final tabulation is done, the certified results, Ohioans can take that to the bank and trust that that was the will of the people of Ohio. And by the way, candidates at all levels need to respect that. Once you hear the voice of the people speaking, then you need to respect that. And in Ohio, we work to keep voter fraud exceedingly rare. We work to prevent voter suppression. These are things that we take seriously. We run fair and honest elections here in Ohio. And again, when it's all over, you'll know that what you heard was a true reflection of the will of the people of Ohio. And by definition, any public servant should respect that.